We are on our final day of black and white cooking, and I'm going to assume that it's all going to be perfect. Hi, I'm Melissa Clark. I'm a food reporter for the New York Times, and I'm on a mission to develop the best recipe for black and white cookies. I'm a native New Yorker, and I grew up in Brooklyn eating black and white cookies as often as I possibly could. And recently, I've been going around trying to figure out what makes the perfect black and white cookie. There's so many different shapes and sizes, there's different icings, there's different types of cookie bases, and I wanted to come up with a recipe that is easy enough to make at home that would just capture the best. First things first, I have to go out and try all the cookies. New York City is the home of the black and white cookie. I'm gonna eat a lot of them, and I'm gonna try to discover what secrets I can take from those cookies and add to my cookie recipe. That's the Donut Pub. I really like their black and white cookie, and they have really good apple fritters too. This is so big. This is bigger than I remember. Apple fritters are just... Any tips that you could give me? Anything that I should be looking out for?
See, everybody's are different. We like ours cakier, a little softer, so they're a little higher. Put buttermilk, put buttermilk in it, and it it gives it a different taste.
I have known Josh for so many years. I'm not even going to tell me how many years.
Hello. How are you doing?
Sweetie, how are you?
Nice
Thank you for doing this. Thank you for constantly feeding me lox and black and white cookies.
My pleasure. Our black and white cookies are made by hand and coated by hand. We add a little lemon zest.
Okay. Oh, is there almond in it too?
Shh. You're
Wait
telling
a
our
second, there's
secrets.
almond in there?
Get out of here.
Yeah, there's almond and lemon.
Now, how do you eat it? Chocolate side first, vanilla side first? What's your...
My first bite is always right in the middle of the white and the dark. It's funny, we have these things at Russ & Daughters, like slicing salmon and making black and white cookies that are amazing to watch, not so easy to do.
Okay, I'm learning something here. I'm learning something.
Always on the flat side so it doesn't all drip off.
Okay.
Different tool.
Different tool. Why is there a different chocolate tool than a vanilla tool?
The chocolate is what creates that straight line. This is the tough part. That edge lays right in the middle where you want the straight line, and then spreads it out.
Those are gorgeous. Thank you so much. They're a little cratery in the chocolate. Woo! Okay, that's kind of cool. I object to this, but I mean, it weighs a ton. It just needs more flavor. They are frosted on both sides. I'm sorry, that's a cheat. I don't think I'm gonna make my cookies this big. Good frosting. Good chocolate flavor. You really taste the lemon here. I'll just go around like that. This is a very light cookie. Red velvet, woohoo! Red velvet, like a fun idea. The icing has a really good snappy texture. I want a bit of crunch. In every case, there is more chocolate than there is vanilla. I mean, I know it should be equal, but if it's not gonna be equal, you need to err on the side of the chocolate. My daughter would actually love this. Definitely gonna steal the flavorings of the cake. I think this is the exact right size. It's about 4 inches. This is the size that I want. That is a perfect serving for me. Welcome to my kitchen. Carol from William Greenberg was saying how she used buttermilk. So I loved that idea. I love the buttermilk idea, but I hate buying buttermilk because you have to buy an entire quart and then you use like 1/3 of a cup, and then what happens, right? It sits in your fridge. So I decided that instead I would use 2 things that I always have, a combination of milk and sour cream, or you could use Greek yogurt. Whenever I develop a recipe, always start by changing only 1 ingredient or 1 technique per recipe. Because if you change 2 things at the same time, then you're gonna confuse yourself. You go slow and you write everything down, because otherwise I'll forget it. So these are just uneven, but they are soft and they're nicely browned on the bottom. And you can see when I break them, they break like a cake, not like a cookie. The flavors are too muted. I need to go heavier on the almond, heavier on the lemon. I love the flavor of the Russ & Daughters one. I love the moistness of the Empire, and also of William Greenberg also had a nice moistness, a cakiness. So I'm gonna try to get all of that in this next batch. This is a muffin top pan. Because it's a batter, I figured it should have a contained pan, right? And then maybe it won't run all over and become misshapen like the ones I did before. I just don't know if this is going to be visually, aesthetically, the right look, but it was worth a try. We'll see, we'll see. Version 3 coming up. I'm going to try to make these with a better shape than the last one. So I'm trying to do recipes with the home cook in mind, but also with what I want to do, and I actually want to just keep it as easy and delicious as possible, that intersection between easy and delicious. See, these look more black and white cookie-ish, but I don't like the way that looks or that looks. We shall see. So going forward, so my next plan, because these are perfect. I really like, I mean, they're ugly and they're flat, but I like the way they taste better, but I still want them more. I still want more lemon, I want more almond. If I didn't have a deadline, I would just keep baking these forever. We are on our final day of black and white cooking. Today we're actually going to shoot the how-to video. Before I started testing, I actually thought black and white cookies were going to be pretty easy to do. I ended up testing the recipe about 6 times. They were a little more challenging. I'm not good at getting really round cookies. They come out a little oblong, sometimes they come out a little splotchy, sometimes they look like Texas, but what I've noticed is if you put the frosting on, nobody really notices the shape. So I think it's okay if the cookies are not perfectly round. I think the only difference between a black and white cookie batter and just a regular yellow cake batter is the amount of liquid, because you need a little less liquid for the batter to hold its shape on the baking pan. The thing about almond extract, a little goes a long way. Whenever you're zesting a lemon, you just want to get the yellow outside part. That's the part which has all the fragrant oils. The white pith underneath is a little bit bitter, so avoid it. The testing was actually super fun. My daughter loved eating them. I loved eating them. We ate every single cookie, or we gave them to my neighbors. At one point, my daughter came home from school and we decorated them all with faces, just because if you turn them on their side, it kind of looks like a face. So you always want to go on slow speed to make sure that the sugar gets moistened. Then you can raise it to higher speed, otherwise the sugar is just going to come up in your face. See how it looks crumbly right now? I want it to be creamy. I mean business now. Much better. And in this case, you actually can overbeat, so just until you don't see any more flour, that's when you stop. Want some? Come on, you know you do.
Ooh, that's good. So what was your best discovery for shaping?
I mean, I just used a quarter cup measuring thing and a spoon. So.
All right, we can do that for you.
Did you ever try an ice cream scoop just to see?
No. Oh, do we have an ice cream scoop?
Yeah.
So this was Vaughn's idea. This is a really good idea. I haven't done it before, but right? It makes perfect sense. You want round, you start round. Thank you, Vaughn. Oh, look how round. Oh, it's so good. Can't believe I didn't think of this. All right, that one's a little wonky. And then you have to lick your finger, because what are you gonna do? Those look so good. Can't believe after all that. I can't believe I went out and bought a muffin top pan. I bought a muffin top pan to make them round. I could have just been using an ice cream scoop. And now I'm going to ice, and this is very important. You need to frost the flat side of it, because if you frost the round side of it, all the frosting is gonna just fall right off, and that will be sad. I'm so nervous about doing the frosting on camera because I'm really bad at doing frosting. The reason I'm using boiling water instead of room temperature water is confectioner's sugar always has lumps in it. And if you use boiling water, it smooths it out immediately, and it's just easier to get a nice, smooth, beautiful frosting. I'm getting better, I have to say. Just wait till we get to the chocolate, that's where I'm gonna mess it up. So, thoughts. I don't like the air bubbles, and I think it's because for this cookie and maybe this cookie, the icing was a little bit too thick. So I added a little bit more water. This is what you're looking for. Slightly, you know, I mean, is this honey? How would you describe this texture? Please let me know. Now I'm gonna add chocolate and cocoa to this vanilla batter and turn it into chocolate batter. It's like magic. Okay, so here's the thing. Once you get that line, then you're free and clear, because the rest of it's easy.
So good.
Does it?
Yeah.
Phew, so now I just have to
Now
do
you're
it
basically
11
in the
more
clear.
times. Oh, really? Oh, good. Ta-da! Okay, I'm a little bit proud of myself. These really are the best ones. For me, these look really good. I got the lines straight, they baked up beautifully, they're reasonably round, but the question is, how do they taste, right? So I'm just gonna have to try one and tell you. Let's find out, shall we? Lemon, almond, vanilla, soft and cakey. I don't know if this is the perfect black and white cookie, but it's pretty darn close. Okay, maybe it's perfect. So the question is, how does one go about eating a giant black and white cookie? I think the same way you'd eat a smaller one. Do I have to share this? Do you have thoughts? Black and white cookie thoughts? Other thoughts? Do you have other recipes that you would like to see us make? Well, leave a comment, subscribe, send us an email, send us a photo. I don't know. I'm just gonna sit here and quietly eat this cookie.